This full moon has been a powerful and transformative energy for me. And I was laying down and this revelation came to me. And I've been having revelations over the last several weeks, but especially today, right now, this revelation came to me. And this revelation was my biggest lesson in life, my biggest lesson in many lives has been to learn how to really love myself, honor myself, take care of myself, how to make sure that I'm preserving myself, how to make sure I'm looking after myself, make sure I'm prioritizing myself. I've been very selfless in many lives. I have starved to death in one of my lives, my previous lives, and that was revealed to me through divination, but having this history, this karmic history of doing myself dirty to do right by somebody else. And it's been really interesting because for a very long time, I used to think that my parents were the reason why I didn't have self-love, because my parents didn't teach me self-love. I didn't have self-worthiness because my parents didn't teach me how to value myself. I used to think that my parents and my upbringing and the life that I lived was the reason why I am the way that I am. And yes, there's traumas and things that you can experience that can contribute and be attributed to some of this karmic lessons that you learn. But your karmic lessons are going to be there whether you have that specific set of traumas or that specific set of parents or not. Because there's going to be people who had loving parents who may still struggle with self-love and self-worthiness. So at the end of the day, it's not just about who your parents are, but it's about who you are and what you are here to do in this life with yourself. And so what I had to learn is that for me, my self-love had to be self-taught, meaning that my mother was not able to nurture me the way that I needed to be nurtured. She wasn't able to love me the way I needed to be loved. My father wasn't able to do that because I had to learn in this life how to do that for myself. How to love myself despite not having been taught how to love, despite not being taught what that is, despite never really experiencing it. Being able to say that even though I didn't have access to some of these things, and even though I went through some tough things in life, that doesn't make me any less valuable. And that I'm still worthy of everything that I desire, even though I went through these traumatic things. And see, with myself, with this revelation of this moon energy, is that it let me be able to forgive not only my parents, but the people who did me wrong. Because as a person with a Scorpio stellium, baby, I can be forgetting shit. But I had to understand and know that it's not just about the people who have done me wrong. They were doing their part. They were doing what they were supposed to do. Because this lesson that I had to learn in life is that I deserve love. I deserve to be respected. I deserve honor. I deserve all the things that I want in my life. And that means that I have to know that on a subconscious level, on a spiritual level, and a physical level in order for me to be in alignment to have that vibration matched. I had to work to undo all the psychological trauma to be able to unlock that in my subconscious mind to know that despite being sexually assaulted in my life or despite being hurt, I still deserve to be loved. And with that being said, yes, I'm at a place where I get that even your energy levels, your finances, your abundance in life, your material things are all manifestations of energy. And knowing that that is like it comes from within, right? Like in a lot of my readings, I've been showing my clients that they themselves are the currency, that money itself is paper. It's not real, but it is a real energy behind it. And you can have what you want in life. You deserve to have the things you desire in life. But the energy behind it, the energy in which you're manifesting it, the energy in which you're going about it, it really matters. And the way that it comes about is how you feel about you. Do you feel that you deserve whatever it is that you're asking for? Do you feel that this is something that you were called to have in this life? And also, do you really want whatever it is that you're asking for? Because sometimes we don't even really want what we're asking for. We just want it because other people have it, or because we've seen it, or because blah, 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 blah. My parents couldn't teach me self-love because I had to learn it for myself. My family couldn't set me up with a trust fund and all the money because I was here to make it for myself. I didn't learn how to set boundaries until I realized that I was always tired, and I was always drained, and I was always giving, and I was always sacrificing. Sometimes your lessons in this world isn't just meant for okay, what I mean is this. Some people find out that they're a healer, and then they go and try to heal the world. And the reality is, not everybody's meant to do that. Not everybody's meant to heal the world. Some people are just meant to heal themselves. Some of us struggle with relationships because we are prioritizing relationships with other people over the relationship that we have with ourselves. And that's not going to work, especially if you were called in this life to have the most profound relationship with yourself and not some other partner. The key to healing a lot of shit is to understand and to know that this 3D plane shit, that this world that we live in is fake. It's all a simulation. It's all fucking smoke and mirrors. Everybody's playing a role. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to fucking be doing. That people come into your life and they gonna do what they gonna do, but you have the choice to accept that shit, entertain that shit, send it away, or whatever. Like, you don't have to accept everything that comes into your life. But the things that you do accept are the things that you believe you deserve. There's people who are the most beautiful people in the world who don't know how to love themselves and don't know how to set boundaries. There's people in this world who have the most money and are unhappy with themselves. There's so many people in this world that you would think having all those physical things would make up for whatever's lacking inside, and it doesn't, and it never has, and it never will. Self-love comes from within, not from without. Self-worth comes from within, not from without. And having a self-worthiness issue can manifest in a money issue where you're constantly struggling. You're not spending your money wisely. You're not making enough, or you're gone before you are able to use it. Self-worthiness is also linked to your finances. Because some people just don't, they had jobs forever and they don't ask for a raise, right? They had jobs and they leave money on the table when they're negotiating. There's people who will stay at a job for years and years and years and never really get anything out of that experience because they don't have a self-worthiness about them. There's people who will dedicate time and energy to other people and sacrifice and not get anything in return and continue to accept it because on a subconscious level they think that that's what they deserve or that's the best that they're going to get. But energy is currency. Your self-worth is your self-currency. When you know what your energy is worth, when you know what you bring to the table on an energetic level, when you know how you vibing, when you've done the work to heal, to release, to grow, to ascend, when you have put yourself in the position to get where you want to go because you have prioritized yourself and your needs, you're able to walk away from things that don't serve you. You don't have to sit and try to make things that don't serve you work for you. Because you know what you deserve. But people who don't really know what they deserve, they spend a lot of time looking at what other people have and try to see how they measure up against others instead of choosing their own path and their own life and the things that they want for themselves. You cannot learn how to love yourself from anybody but you. And if that's your lesson in this life, you're going to find situations where people are not really loving you the way you love them. You're going to find that people ain't giving to you the way you give to them. You're going to find that people don't call you like you call them. You're going to find that when you need something, people ain't around, but when they need something, you always around. You're going to learn through many, many experiences in life that ain't worth a damn. A lot of us think manifesting more money is going to solve our problems. And in some cases, hey, money can solve some issues, right? Like it can solve, like, let's say you worried about your home, your bills, your expenses in life. That's cool. And that's great. But instead of manifesting, let's say, more money, it may be important for you to manifest something that you won't constantly have to re-up your manifestation, something that will take care of that on a long-term basis, like having a well-paying job that pays more than your needs, that you're able to invest and to save some of your salary, that you have, multiple different accounts, that you have an emergency savings, that you're able to you know um, take care of any health concerns or whatever. That is something that's probably better than to manifest, let's say, $10,000, because you're gonna need another $10,000 right after you get that 10. Manifesting something that is actually gonna be worth the time and the energy that you put into that that energy you're expending. Yeah, yeah. You go to the park later, okay? Okay, go to sleep. Okay? I spend a lot of time trying to learn myself through studying others. Spend a lot of time anticipating other people's needs and neglecting my own. I spent a lot of time honoring other people's boundaries but never enforcing and setting any for myself. And I had to learn the hard way that I had to do all of those things. And doing all of the things that were hard for me to do is because in my spirit and in my heart, I had a hard time accepting the fact that I was worth making some people angry. I was worth upsetting some people. I was worth losing some friends. I was worth losing some family members. I was worth all that. And I'm in a point in my life right now where I've kind of had to leave away from so many things and so many people. And I've had to sit in that. I had to sit in it and experience the absence of others, of the support that I might have thought I wanted or needed from other people. But really, all of that is for me to really pick myself up and really have the strength that I need. Give myself the love that I need, the affection that I need, the support, the encouragement that I need, and not look outside of myself for anything of that right now. No one's coming to save me. No one's coming to rescue me. You have to be okay with making people uncomfortable. You have to be okay with people not liking you. Even if that's your own mom, your own dad, your grandmother, your grandfather, your uncles, your aunts, your baby daddy, your baby mama, your mother-in-law, your sister, or brother-in-law. You gotta be okay with pissing some people off when it comes to you. Like, you can't play about you. But when self-love is your lesson, when it's your lesson, when it's your karmic lesson. Because see, everybody got to learn how to have self-love, but when it's your karmic habitual lesson to learn this, when it's your karmic lesson to learn this, nothing anyone says or does is ever going to resonate until you are ready for it to resonate. Just like anytime anyone's on a path of destruction, let's say they're doing alcohol, or they're alcoholics, or they're drug addicts, um, or they're doing anything that's like a spiral. Like even like most narcissistic people, they don't go to therapy. They don't believe in therapy. And they don't go to therapy usually until they lose every fucking thing. Sometimes for you to learn self-love, you gotta lose every fucking thing. Every fucking person. Sometimes you gotta hit rock fucking bottom in order for you to understand and know, oh wow, I really, really, really gotta learn this lesson. To really be dedicated to the lesson that you need to learn. Because self-love is hard when you don't have any type of examples of what that would look like, or what that would feel like, or what that would be like. When you are not given the proper tools and guidance on how to have it. But hitting rock bottom, and maybe even hitting rock bottom more than once, hopefully will whip you into shape to be able to say, this is a dark path to go down. Being around these kind of people that don't feel right, being around the kind of people that drain you, being around the kind of people that don't return the energy, it's not sounding right. But I'm starting to go against my heart and my gut and my feelings in order to look out for somebody else. Because I don't want them to be sad, or I don't want them to be hurting, or I don't want them to be alone. When you start betraying your own self to be there for other people, you going right back to your old fucking ways. Like a damn addict. Like a fucking fiend. Sometimes you get addicted to not loving yourself. You get addicted to loving everybody else but you because you're looking for something outside of yourself to motherfucking make it happen. And that's exactly the same shit. A lot of addicts have a self-love and self-worthiness issue. A lot of people who get at rock bottom and stay there is because they feel like they deserve it. A lot of people who are in fucked up relationships with people are in them because they feel like they deserve it, because they don't know no better, because they haven't been able to accept the fact that choosing themselves sometimes means being alone. Or oftentimes it really does mean alone. Not even just sometimes. Oftentimes means being alone. Oftentimes you ain't gonna be able to be around people who ain't really ain't your friend. Like you might have been able to be around those kind of people before. You ain't gonna be able to be in these relationships with people who don't really honor or deserve you, even though you might have been able to, be with somebody, beforehand. You ain't gonna be able to work for no fucking job that don't pay you enough and don't value you, even though that might have been what you once did before. We have to understand our energy And what is the subconscious energy that we're putting out in addition to the physical energy we're exerting to accomplish something? Because if you're putting a lot of effort and energy into something you don't even really want, trust and believe it ain't even going to give you the results you're looking for. And then when you're putting the effort and the energy into something that you don't even believe you deserve, it ain't never even going to come. You're going to constantly chase that shit. You putting your effort and your energy into something that's not in alignment with you, it's going to fucking it's never going to stick and stay. It's not going to be a good fit. It's always going to be some problems. I realized that shit is crazy to me, but my spiritual team has really taught me, like, in order to really unlock the things I want in my life, I have to understand and know that there's nobody outside of myself that has the keys to the things that I want. There's nobody that I can go to as far as my mama, my dad, any of my grandparents, living or dead or whomever, or any family or any whomever. There's no job. There's nothing in this world and on this world that will make up for the lessons I have to learn in my life. There's nobody. There's nothing. I have to absolutely learn that lesson for myself. And my ears ringing, so I know that this is what Spirit is saying to me. I used to think making more money would make me a happier person. And it wouldn't. It won't. I learned that Spirit be knocking me on my ass sometimes, especially knocking me financially on my ass, so that way I can literally have nothing to give nobody else. And then me not giving to other people shows me who's there for me, who's not there for me, but also showing me that I have more peace when I have nothing than when I don't have it. I mean, when I do have it, because I used to feel guilty for my abundance when I saw people who didn't have it, right? I used to have more peace being broke than I did when I had money, because I used to feel obligated to take care of other people. I used to feel obligated to share my wealth with other people. I used to feel guilty for living a blessed life because I saw other people who did not have the same blessings as me and wanted to go and share my blessings with them. And there's nothing wrong with being charitable, but I feel like I used to do that shit to my own detriment sometimes. I used to just give and give and give and give and give, and then here I am in the same position as the person who I was trying to help out. And now here I am needing some help when I didn't even have to do it like that. I didn't even have to give extra and do above and beyond, but that's what I was doing. I wasn't charging enough for my services. I was trying to overwork myself. I was trying to be accessible to too many people. Because my self-worthiness issue, my self-love issue had it to where I felt wrong or guilty for not being able to be there for somebody. That I tried to make it my mission to be there to serve every single person that I possibly could. And my own energy, my own needs, my own desires, what was important to me no longer was important in that process, because I was abandoning myself to be there for others yet again. No one can teach me how to love myself but me. No one can love me better than I can love myself. And the best thing that I've been able to learn is that every time I've put too much energy or emphasis in something or someone, I lost it because it then had the control over me. And I'm having to learn how to let things and people and situations and attachments go, because the only thing I need to be attached to in this life is myself. The only thing that I'm obligated to right now is me and my child. Everything and everyone else is not as important. I wouldn't even consider it my second or third or fourth or even fifth priority to be there for other people. But that used to be my number one priority or number two spot. I had placed way more energy and emphasis on something that I didn't really need. Like, I was thinking to myself today when we went through a drive-through. We went through the McDonald's drive-through. Me and a friend and our kids. And I remember when I was 19, I worked at McDonald's for $7.25 an hour, and I would work and stand on my feet for all those hours and make $300 every couple weeks. And I would struggle to pay my bills, struggle to pay my rent, struggle to do everything because I wasn't making enough money. And how that lack that I experienced led me to be in a place where I still, even though I couldn't do for myself, was trying to do for someone else. And that led to my first very toxic relationship and the first person that I was pregnant by. And I realized that the problem started before he got into the picture. The problem started before I was struggling to pay my bills. The problem started even before I was working that job. The problem started with me knowing I deserved better, but somehow choosing to do the thing that I knew wasn't going to serve me. Because going so far down, to walking 5 miles to and from work every day, to be at work at 4:30 and open and do all the work and all the different things for $7.25 or $7.50 an hour. And staying somewhere while struggling and struggling to continue to struggle, all boiled down to me not having a self-worthy understanding and a lack of self-love. I did not have love for myself. Like the way I thought I did, I didn't. I didn't value myself. I didn't. Because I accepted a lot of shit that I didn't deserve. And at my subconscious level, I thought I deserved it. Because who am I to want better or to have better? Do I think I'm better than everybody? But in reality, it's not about that. I used to try to humble myself so much. In reality, I didn't deserve to do that to myself, but it was an uncomfortable feeling for me to love myself despite opposition from others, or to choose myself despite opposition from others. So in a lot of positions in life, I left things on the table and I backed down from what I really wanted when I shouldn't have done so. Yeah. But no one, like I said, no one was going to be able to teach me how to do that. Right? If anything, there was people, right, like encouraging me to do all this hard, extreme labor for this stupid ass job that didn't really deserve anybody like me to grace their motherfucking their store, right? Like the amount of effort and energy that I put into that, right? Like walking in the pitch black, waking up at 2 o'clock or 2:30 in the morning and starting to walk by 3 or 3:30 so I can get to work, walking and having to carry a bag, an extra pair of shoes in my backpack so that way I can walk that distance, and having to have a flashlight on my phone to get through the dark woods to make it to this stupid ass job. Doing all of that for $7.25 an hour. And they didn't even give me free food. Like, struggling at home to figure out if I can afford to pay for groceries or rent, but going above and beyond for a job that didn't value me and didn't pay me my worth, because I thought that that was the best I can get. I deserved so much more than I got because I did not understand. I didn't understand my calling. And I didn't understand the idea of leaving people behind or living such a different life than someone else right next to me. I just didn't feel comfortable having good things, nice things, knowing someone else didn't have those things. So being selfless was something that I used to do a lot. I used to, I was selfless, for sure. And while you may think that being selfless is good, and you might see people who are martyred or who are historically known for selflessness and how impactful they were, I honestly and truly believe in order to really be celebrated for your selflessness, you have to have a strong sense of self. You have to have a strong sense of an ability to really like honor yourself and making a stance from a place of, I would say, revolution or activism, where you yourself know who you are and you know your worth, but you're choosing to set that aside for a moment to make a difference or a change in the world. I feel like my selflessness wasn't even a revolutionary act. My selflessness was a self-destructive act. I didn't feel like I was doing a Gandhi or Mother Teresa thing, although I thought that that was a good thing to do. I don't have to hate my parents anymore. I don't have to hate anyone anymore. I can let go of every attachment that I have to every single person that is not me, that is not who comes from me, like my child. Like, no one else really matters right now. at this stage in my life, this is what I'm called to do, is to really do the healing, to do the unlearning, to do the undoing, to pull myself back together, to piece myself back together. And a lot of the things that I was trying to do was fill up the things that I don't. It's almost like I was trying to fill the void with money. I was trying to fill my void with money. I was trying to fucking go get this big ass job, and I was trying to make all this money and do all these things because I wasn't learning my lessons. I was trying to replace the things that I didn't have internally with my external life. I was trying to fix my life from the outside in instead of the inside out. And I see now why Spirit has been resisting me to do certain things, because it is choosing me. Putting the energy that I do have towards making sure that I love myself and I'm honoring myself, and that I'm not putting myself down when I don't. Like, it's like learning how to really love myself in a way that I have not been able to do before. I had no problem loving myself when everything was going according to plan. No problem loving myself when I had an abundance of money. No problem loving myself when my body was the way I wanted it to be. No problem loving myself when I had a roster of guys validating me. No problem loving myself when on the outside my life looked great. But let some fucking shit hit the fan, and all the things that I really felt about myself cracked through the surface. I started beating myself up emotionally, beating myself up spiritually, beating myself up physically, abandoning myself, treating myself like shit, calling myself names, letting a lot of this pain and trauma and anxiety live inside of my body, because that was how I felt really on the inside. That's how I really felt, because I didn't really love myself. I only loved the results that I had that looked like success. My worthiness for myself was, how good is my life looking on the outside? How good does my life look? How much money is in my bank account? That's how good I feel about myself. But loving yourself really comes from being able to love yourself when you're broke, being able to love yourself even when you came from nothing, being able to love yourself even when your circumstances aren't the best, being able to love yourself even when your stomach is not small, loving yourself even when your tits aren't perky, loving yourself even when you don't have the things that you want, loving yourself even when other people aren't loving you, loving yourself even if that means walking away from things that don't serve you, loving yourself enough to do that, loving yourself enough to not settle. Loving yourself looks a whole lot different. Like, it's a whole different type of situation than being able to say, oh, my life is good, so I'm good. No, I'm good, and that's why my life is good. I love myself. I'm worth it, and I'm valuable, and my check account matches that vibration, not the opposite around. And I was doing the other thing. I was looking outside in instead of inside out. I was looking in the outside. My self-love journey has really been powerful, because again, I literally spent so much fucking time holding on to other people, holding on to what they did to me and how they did me wrong. And I just, Spirit has said, let that shit go. This fucking full moon, I let that shit go. I had to let shit go. Let everything go that you don't need. All the baggage that you're carrying that's not serving you. All the shit that's holding you back, that's holding you from the person that you really want to be and the life that you want to live. You gotta let that shit go. I gotta let that shit go. I gotta let that shit go. I gotta let go of saying I don't want the things that I do want. Right? Like, if I know that at some point in my life I'm going to want a loving, healthy relationship with healthy communication and somebody that honors me and my boundaries, and we have all the blah blah blah. I can't be sitting up here telling myself, oh, I don't want that. I don't want a man. I don't want this. Because at the end of the day, that's what I do want. So if I'm lying to myself, if I'm not even being real with myself, like, I got to think about all the things that I've said that I wanted in my life, and make sure that that's really what I want. And the things that I say I don't want, is it really something that I'm saying that I don't want, or is it just something that I don't think I can have, or something that I haven't had thus far, so therefore I don't think I can get it? At the end of the day, I have to be real with me. Have to be real and understand and accept the fact that, yeah, a lot of shit did hurt my feelings, even though I said it didn't bother me. I gotta stop living a contradictory ass life. I gotta stop saying shit that I don't mean, and I gotta start really meaning the shit that I fucking say. If I really want some shit to really work out, if I really want to live in alignment, I gotta stop being contradictory. I gotta stop doing that shit. So I gotta let a lot of shit go. I had to let shit go. I had to let shit go. Because also, I had to stop making my success be my revenge or my retaliation for someone else. That achievements is not coming from trauma. Like, I got to make sure that everything that I'm doing is coming from a place of my own self-love, from my own volition, not from someone else's fucking disregard for who I am and I want to prove some shit. No, it's like that. Again, all that shit is external. All that shit is external. My lessons are internal and spiritual. In this life, I'm my I'm my priority. My relationship with me is the most important relationship I'm gonna have. In this life, I'm here to really, like, honor me. Like, it was a big lesson, like, I learned from my spiritual, like, advisor, like, yo, like, I fucking died in the past life because I starved to death, and it's not because I didn't have no motherfucking money. I didn't have no motherfucking resources. I just gave all my shit away trying to be there for other people that I neglected my own needs. And I've been doing that shit all my motherfucking life because that's some shit I knew how to do. And here I am, constantly putting myself in fucked up positions because I am trying to look out for everybody else but myself. Like, why the fuck does that shit feel so bad to look at? And like, at the end of the day, I felt guilty. I used to feel guilty because I was smart. I used to feel guilty because I was born. I used to feel guilty because I looked like my dad. I used to feel guilty because I was dark skinned. I used to feel guilty for the sexual traumas I experienced, and I thought it was my fault. So a lot of things in life I used to feel ashamed and guilty of, which what all that does is throw your fucking root chakra off and your fucking sacral chakra off, and all your energy goes to try to balance that shit. But if your root chakra is off, your stability is gonna be off. If your sacral chakra is off, your fucking intuition and your fucking ability to receive shit is gonna be off. Like, I used to fuck myself up because I used to let my feelings for my ascension, being elite, like, used to feel bad. Oh, I got this stuff, I got that. Let me get that shit away. No, like, I fucked myself up many times by doing that shit. But I'm not doing that shit no more. I accept that shit. I accept that that was who I was, life of my past, and how I've lived my life in the past. But here today and now, I say I choose myself. I choose me. I choose what I need. I choose to preserve myself and my needs first. I choose to prioritize me, even if that means making people upset with me, angry with me, disappointed in me, frustrated. Even if that means that I can't come to someone's rescue, I have to be there for me right now. Even if that means sometimes I can't be the best friend, the best lover, the best sister, the best daughter. I gotta be me. I gotta be there for me. Because I need me right now in a way that this healing, I gotta really walk myself and love myself through this fucking healing. Or it's gonna take me over. This is a do or die situation. This is a life or death situation. This is choosing the life that I'm about to live and the death to the life I once lived. This is me at the split of where I am and where I'm going. I gotta fucking change. I have to change. I was not able to have that love from my parents because they were not assigned to give that to me. I was assigned to give it to myself. And what I learned is when you got to learn self-worthiness and when you got to learn self-love, you really ain't even going to experience none of that. Like, at least for me, I I ain't seen love really anywhere. And I was searching for that shit high and low. And that's what fucking brought me to the point of saying it's inside, not outside. Self-worthiness. I'm the abundance. I'm the blessing. I'm the prosperity. Me. And knowing that my energy, my account, my money, my career, my client, all that, that's way more renewable, knowing that the energy comes from myself and not from my account. I replenish my account. My account doesn't replenish me. But yeah, I have to learn how to let some shit go. This fucking full moon did that shit for me. Cause I don't have to. People who've hurt me and wronged me, all they was doing was their fucking job. They was supposed to do that shit. Because before it got to the point of them hurting and wronging me, there was things inside my spirit that said this ain't the right person for you. There was things inside my spirit that said that's not your friend. Things inside my spirit that said you need to walk away from this situation. So I done did what the fuck. I done let it go. I done let the lesson drop me down and knock me to fucking rock bottom. It didn't even have to get that far. I pushed myself that far because I had to learn the lesson the hard fucking way. And I had to be at rock bottom multiple times in my life because clearly I wasn't learning the lessons. I wasn't jumping ship. I wasn't leaving at the first sign because I was, baby, I can't even tell you why. But I had to learn how to be better to me. I've been good to so many people. I've been so many people's blessing and so many people's angel. But it's time for that to be my own situation. So I'm choosing to heal radically and unapologetically and out loud because at the end of the fucking day, I may not be the person that's here to heal the world. I'm here to heal myself, and maybe some people may hear and see and resonate with some shit that I'm fucking saying or something that I'm going through. But it is not my job to heal everybody. It's not my job to teach everybody. It's not my job to do shit for every fucking body. My job is to do the shit for myself, and then the people that can get a glimpse of that shit Hey, more power to him. But it's for me. This is for me. This shit is for me. This is for me.
Mommy.
Yeah. No. So I'm about to get off of here, but Alright. Okay. Well, bye bye.
Mommy.